guys here from GiveWave Studios. This is my face, and on this one's going to be a little different. I'm just going to give you guys a quick look at my props that made it to 2021. From time to time I sell my cosplays, or I sell some props off, and I have some stuff that I've made but I don't actually get to keep. So this is the collection of things that I actually have in studio this year, at least for 2021. Let's get it. Alright, so we'll start with I guess what we'll call the headwear, so like masks and helmet. I did this, I think, the night that I saw the movie. This was My Hero Academia movie, the first one that came out, and this Magneto powered guy, I forget what his name was at this point, probably Wolfram from the first My Hero Academia movie. I tend to do a lot of villains, that's kind of like my thing. So yeah, this is Wolfram mask. So this Anbu looking mask is actually from Demon Slayer, and this is one of those things that I made for a quick custom character cosplay, and I intended on making a tutorial for it. I have the patterns, I have the DIY kit, I just haven't had a chance to put it together. So if this is something that you guys are interested in and want to see come to life, leave a comment, let me know, because most of the times I don't like spending too much time making a video if it's not going to be of interest to anyone. So speak up. Oh yeah, and his eyes light up too. So this is Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. This is made completely out of foam, obviously except for the zipper part, which is actually fabric or a proper zipper. But this is probably one of my latest tutorials. I was really happy with how this one came out. I've been meaning to do this for a really long time, and I was glad I finally made it and didn't even get to wear it. This was supposed to be Halloween 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. This is definitely one of my favorites. This is a hybrid character that I created. There was this group that I wanted to do for Dragon Call called the Wakanda Watch. So it was like a mashup of Wakanda characters and Overwatch characters, and this was Killmonger and Soldier 76. Clearly you can see the inspiration with Soldier's jawline, the little pucks, but really the front of the mask is all Killmonger. And it was a really cool mashup. One of the first original, I think, characters that I've ever made as far as a cosplay is concerned, and I was super happy with how it came out, and the eyes actually light up on this one too. Super subtle, so that I can see through it, but nice enough in the dark that it still kind of makes sense. This is another My Hero Academia. This is from the second movie. The villain's name was Nine, and this is really cool. I actually wore this a couple of times out during the pandemic, and obviously I wore a mask behind it, proper mask behind it, but it's magnetic, so certain aspects of it come apart, so it's easier to fit. And I did have lights in here at some point. I took them out because I had only put them in there temporarily, so I'll be doing a more permanent fixture on this, and also the tutorial for this is on the YouTube, as well as the patterns on the website. This is an MF Doom mask. This is one of my favorite rappers who passed away in October of 2020. I had been meaning to print this mask forever, and I never got around to it. And when I learned that he passed, I was like, I can't put it off anymore. So as you can see, this is still a raw print. I literally just took it off the printer right before I started recording this video, so I'm going to be sanding this down, priming it, putting straps in it, and yeah, so this will be cool. You'll probably catch the progress on this on my Instagram at GiveWave Studios. Alright, getting down to the final four here. This is from the Breath of the Wild 2 announcement trailer. When I saw that mummy that they find in like that grotto, again, I'm a big fan of villains, so when I saw that happen, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm definitely doing this. He had like this hand coming out of his chest that glowed, the red hair, which I've cut up all the pieces, but I still haven't finished this or put together. This is another one of those that I've been recording the process, and the tutorial will be coming once I'm done with it. But also, if you guys can see, He has the eyes that light up, and also the crown in the middle of the head there. It's really, really cool. I really love how this came out. It's just a lot of sculpting. It's not done yet, and it will be eventually. Oh man, this one is dusty. I need to clean this off. This is a Spyro hat. It's made out of EVA foam as well. My girlfriend at the time still is a big fan of Spyro, and I made her this to go to a convention. She also had like a fabric hat that she could wear, and that she could take out the horns and put on the hat. Actually, I think I have the hat, but this was a pretty cool, fun project, like really last minute. I probably put this together in like a couple of hours. Inosuke, mask, helmet, whatever you want to call it. For the longest time, I really didn't want to do this because I didn't want to work with fur, and I wanted it to look as good as possible. And eventually I just thought to myself, you know what, why don't I just make it look like the cartoon, which is exactly what I did. And I really love how this came out. I've worn it a few times. I haven't made the entire cosplay for it yet, but the eyes do light up, as you can see. And I did at some point have a little smoke machine attached. You can see some of the Velcro to hold the tubing and stuff. Again, it was a very quick, semi-permanent thing, so I ended up taking it off, so I'll find like a more permanent way to attach it. And last but not least, probably my favorite piece that I've ever made so far is this Killmonger mask. I haven't seen anything more accurate than this. Beeps his own horn. But yeah, like up to the beads on the back, on the inside, the hair. This is one of those things that I still have the patterns, but so much of it was unplanned and sculpted and I don't have any footage of it. It's just one of those things that I don't think I'll ever do a tutorial for this. Maybe like a walkthrough or a step-by-step. So let me know in the comments if this is something you guys would be interested in seeing. The tuft of hair is also removable, so that this is a little bit easier transported. The one thing I do regret about this one is making the horns permanent. I should have found a way to make them magnetic, but yeah, you live and you learn. All right. Now we'll take a look at some of the weapons that I still have with me. So this is Usagi. This is from Zodiac Wars. Zodiac Wars, really, really dope anime. But the rabbit was just like psychotic, and I loved it. Again, big fan of villains, so I ended up making this. I did actually make the full cosplay, so yes, I have a giant bunny tail. Next up, these are pretty basic. This is the Wakandan spear that Killmonger uses, and the kind of like the warrior falls, where he kind of like breaks it off of his leg and just keeps the tip there. This is the machete that they used in the movie as well. I do make casts of these, so this is like solid resin. It's pretty massive. So yeah, these are my Wakandan weaponry from my Killmonger cosplay. And then this like sickle looking thing, I don't really know what it is. I think it's some type of ninja weapon. Oh, this goes with my foot soldier cosplay for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The way that I ended up making this is removable. That way if I swing it around or it gets caught on someone and it falls, it doesn't break. And then what was really cool about the bottom of this is that it kind of comes off as a chain. And I had some lights inside of here, and you can kind of like swing it around and smack people with it and stuff. It's supposed to be like a spiked ball, but I wanted some light up aspects to it, so I ended up just poking a few holes through this and stuffing a light inside of it. And another thing that I did is you guys can find this in the shop. This is the Ooze Booze containers. So if you fill it with clear liquid, kind of lights up. Get around cons a lot with this without any questions asked. You know what I mean. And then we have the LED Katana series. They basically are all same thing. You have a handle, a plug, a guard. I'll be doing a tutorial on how to make the sleeve, and then you have your acrylic blade, masking, vinyl, and then the LED is hidden behind this so that when you turn this on, the blade lights up, but you don't see the actual LED. So I'll give you guys an example. So this is the Scissor 7 variation. This was I think it was a Chinese animation on Netflix. Super funny, highly recommended. Love that show. I want to make some more props from that series actually, but this was the blade that the character had in the series. And I have two versions of these. So one of them has like a physical remote, so you can press a button that you can hide. Like clearly I just hide this under the wrapping. And once you know well enough where your three buttons are, you can just you know, change colors at a whim, and you can even turn off the weapon whenever you're ready. I'd light all of them for you guys up, but they all of their batteries are dead, and I haven't had time to charge them before this video. This was really cool. This I wore this with my Tanjiro. I did a mashup of Tanjiro and the Mandalorian. This is the Flame Pillar from Demon Slayer as well, and I have a whole bunch of other ones of these guys from other series. Last but not least, we have this big guy from Tokyo Ghoul. This is one of the CCG weapons that I have the... It's not so much a tutorial, but it's like a process video, so you just kind of see the steps that I do. But yeah, this was a long time. This is probably one of the first big props that I've made, and I think it's about time I redid this with lighter material. But yeah, another sword-like weapon. Alright, so this set, there's really no theme to it. This is just kind of looking at some miscellaneous stuff that I have. So this is Shuri's gauntlet. This was 3D printed. Probably one of my earlier forays into 3D printing. I do believe, yep, I did get the eyes and the mouth piece to light up. It's two pieces. Let's see if I can take this apart. Yep, so I never actually ended up finishing up this cosplay. I wanted to do like a gender bend Shuri, but didn't end up working out. Maybe eventually I'll get back to it. Alright, next is like this wizard satchel thingy. This thing used to light up. Again, I don't have the light in here right now. These vials, I do believe they still have their lights. Yes, they do. Just kind of like twist those in, drop them in there, and they kind of do their thing. How's this? Okay, there we go. That comes out. It's just like a little wizard wand, and I have this is also 3D printed. I have a little button here. Oh, there we go. So press that, and that turns on, and it has different modes that I can turn off also. And then the satchel opens up. This is to hold this. And it has like a retractable thing. And oh wow, I forgot I had this cell phone in here. This is like my old iPhone 4. Oh my god, look at that. I wish I had my actual phone next to me. That's crazy. Alright, yeah, this just goes to show you guys how long it's been since I've actually seen this prop. This was actually something that I made for a client, and I ended up liking how it turned out so much that I just wanted one for myself just to keep in the studio as kind of like a prop to show off. This book was really what they had commissioned, and then I had done a satchel to go along with the book. And that's just something I wanted to have for myself. So many times you make stuff on commission, you make one thing, it's a one-off, and you never get to see it again. All you have is pictures of it, and sometimes the stuff is so cool you wish you had one in shop. But I despise making the same thing twice so much that sometimes I'll print the pieces or I'll cut the pieces and be like, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna make it to have it in the studio, and then it just never ends up happening. So yeah, it's a wizard book and satchel. Next up we have these guys, the floating flame prop and floating ice ball prop. Both of these light up. This one does have a light inside of it. So this is like an upgraded version. The one that I sell on the store doesn't flicker. I just use regular fairy lights for it. These I modified so it can do kind of like the flickering of the lights. But these are meant to just slide into your hand and just kind of look like they're floating. So if you wanted to do like a Sub-Zero or a Street Fighter, like an Hadouken, whatever the case may be. We have these two little guys, my little buddies. So this guy is Porg from, I believe it was The Force Awakens. After seeing that movie, I was like, I gotta make something from this movie. And I thought these birds were going to be a lot more popular than they were, but no one really cared or gave two flying Porgs about them. So I ended up making these and putting up the patterns for free on the website. That's that guy. And then there's Master Hawk, captain of Scrap Disposals. I have a much larger one that I've made also that I painted pink, and then I realized, wow, I have a small one, I have a big one, I should make the big one the mom. So I'll do a tutorial. I've already have a tutorial for how to make this guy, but I'm going to do a tutorial how to build a little house on top of the mom. So I'll have like both in the studio at some point. So definitely look forward to putting this guy together. All right, and then this is definitely one of my favorite props. I don't play Kingdom Hearts, never have, probably never will, but I am a big Toy Story fan, and I don't think this ever became super popular, but again, I'm a big Toy Story fan, and I just thought that the Keyblade with all of the Toy Story elements was just pure genius. I love the because all of the Keyblades usually have keychains, apparently. Again, I don't play the game, but I love the fact that the keychain for this was the claw with like the little alien at the end. But yeah, I was just super stoked to have something Toy Story related that I could actually make myself. And I do believe, yep, I did end up putting some lights in the rockets at the bottom here. I wish I would have thought of that sooner and not as an afterthought. That way I could have built in the switch into the handle or something, but you know, it is what it is. I was just happy to have this as something that I could put up on my wall. And then there's this guy. This was probably one of my more popular YouTube videos a couple years back. The viewership on this has kind of slowed down since, but this is the Soldier 76 pulse rifle. This is the version that I made for my Killmonger mashup, my Monger 76 or what may have you. And yeah, it was really dope to be able to just do like my own custom paint job. I have the chameleon paint on here that goes from like this purple to teal kind of situation. I have like the rainbow metallic paint job on some of these parts, and a lot of this is magnetic so that it all comes apart and it can be transported super easily, so that this completely packs flat. And I do believe I have a light installed in here somewhere. There it is. Let's take this out, see if this still works. Woo, it is dim. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's supposed to be like in here and in there, and yeah, these batteries need to be changed. Yep, that's that. That's the my custom pulse rifle for Killmonger 76. And then this is the Wonder Woman Justice League shield. I also had the one from the first movie, but the last time I got in a commission for it, I didn't feel like making one from scratch. I had held on to the original one that I had and never sold it, but then I was feeling lazy and I was just, you know what, you can have mines. So I sold mines, and I haven't made the movie one since, but I did keep this one for my gender bend Wonder Woman cosplay. And I need to add another strap in here because I never ended up using this to hold. It was always on the back of my character. So eventually I do need to put a strap on here if I'm going to wear that cosplay ever again, because now this is the only shield I have for it. And now we have this guy. This is Bakugo's Gauntlet. I was super happy with the way this came out. I modeled this after a toy or a figure that a friend of mine had, and I really love the detail of the gauntlet, how deep these panels went, and all of that stuff. And I even ended up making this movable. I have everything else for this. Just haven't recorded video yet, but eventually the whole Bakugo set is something that I'll have tutorials for. So if you guys want to see that sooner than later, do let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to seeing the most out of that build, because I have like the knees, the mask, and all of that stuff. And gotta make sure I show you guys these while I have them in house. Clearly this is another date and time that I'm recording this, but I had a client drop this off for a few repairs. Thankfully I hadn't posted the video yet, so I wanted to add this to the list. This is Monster Hunter. I believe these are Gormagala. I don't play the game, so please correct my pronunciation in the comments. But these were also super fun to make. Magnetic. The spine thingy comes off. The eyeball comes off. There is an LED inside of there with a remote. Unfortunately, he didn't drop it off with the remote, but the fingers, all of the fingers are removable magnetically. That way, if you're swinging it around or it gets caught on something, it never really will break. Just kind of put everything back in place. But yeah, another cool prop that I don't get to necessarily keep, but that has been produced by yours truly. And last but not least, this is my Guts Aggro Crag replica. I used to watch Nickelodeon a lot as a kid, and I always wanted to be on the show and actually win a piece of the Aggro Crag. But, you know, growing up in Haiti, it's not something that could happen for me. So next best thing was to make my own. So I had 3D printed mine. You can kind of see how old this is because the resin that I had coated this with is already starting to yellow. So this is one of the very early pieces that I've done, and it does light up. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that nice green glow. And I even made like the metal. But I just wanted this. I just wanted this as a display piece. So yeah, that's the story behind that one. And continuing with the random theme, we have this kind of like DBZ power thing. It's like laser cut out of neon acrylic. So under UV, this actually glows fairly brightly, which is kind of cool. So taking it to a nighttime party or something like that is not a bad look. Or even for like a UV photo shoots or stuff like that. So I do different versions of these in different shapes, and this is one of the first prototypes that I had ever done. So I still have that. And this is Magnemite. I had done a lot of Pokemon in the past. I've done Zubats, I've done Squirtles, I've done Gengar. What's the one before Gengar? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, Magnemite is actually magnetic, and a lot of his parts attach magnetically, which is pretty on brand. And then there was this little guy, it's like the incubator, and this is pretty simple. I believe the patterns are free on the website for this also. It's made out of EVA foam, and the glass casing is actually just like a clear 2-liter soda bottle. The egg is suspended on the inside just with some fishing lines, so it kind of makes it look like it is floating there on the inside. Then we have, alright, let's see which one of you guys know what the pun is for this outfit on Baby Yoda. And if you guessed Groku, you would be correct. So this is Grogu and his Goku outfit. This is just like a little baby's outfit I bought off of Amazon for like 12 bucks. And it fits him perfectly. Also a tutorial that's available on YouTube for this guy. And then there's this guy, and this is from Doctor Strange. This is the Ancient Ones battle blades or fans, whatever you want to call them. Or this is super old. This is one of my very first prototypes of like Doctor Strange stuff, and they've gotten so much better since, but I've never gone back and redesigned this one specifically. And last but not least, we have Ziggy from Carole and Tuesday. Ziggy also lights up. His wings are magnetic, and I don't know if you guys can see, but at the inside here there's a column. The column has magnets in front of it, and there is an LED that I put right there that lights up the belly, and I have a stencil inside of there that has like a time, so his belly looks like an alarm clock, like it does in the anime. And this is the keyboard that Carole uses, and I do have a Bluetooth speaker embedded into it so I can play or pretend to play the song when I'm in cosplay. This also has lights for the keyboard, and everything is basically EVA foam as well. This panel here is magnetic. It does come apart, so if I need to access the electronics or anything like that on the inside, I can do so pretty easily. And yeah, this was really cool, super lightweight. I love how this came out. Again, one of those that I just kind of did spur of the moment, but again, if you guys want to see a tutorial for this, let me know. Whatever has the most requests, I'll probably end up doing something as far as like DIY kits or tutorials or patterns and stuff like that. And last but surely not least, all of my Breath of the Wild props. I'm not a fan or anything, but I wanted at some point to make all of the weapons from Breath of the Wild, and I realized quickly how much of an undertaking that was, and quickly talked myself out of it. But this is my Sheikah slate. This one actually has an Arduino. You can tell that the Sheikah High has some animations. There's a little bit of slow flickering to everything. You have the back that lights up as well. The inside is definitely not as clean as the outside, as you can tell. So I store extra batteries in here as well, but these are the clips that hang this on my belt. I store those here as well, and to turn this off I have to just unplug this, and that's that. So that's what the inside looks like for this. Next up we have my 3D printed stamina vessel, which I'm very proud of. I have a little magnet on a fishing line, so this kind of hangs in my studio. He turns on too. I do believe there are lights inside of him. Again, this was a prototype, so again, not something that's like super clean. The ones that I sell look a lot different as far as like where the lights are organized and everything. There's actually a slot here that those things fit into. But that's that. And then you see my little Korok buddies. They have magnets in the butt also, so they can stick to metallic things, sometimes each other. If the magnets are in the same polarity, there we go. Alright, so we got those guys. And we have, this is probably my favorite piece in my collection. It is Vali's bow from Breath of the Wild. The paint job on this came out really awesome with the iridescence and everything. I did put lights in this as well, of course, why wouldn't I? I still need to wire the lights to come to this blue tip. I haven't done that yet, but we'll do that eventually. And I need to wrap the handle with like the red thing that he has, but really love how this came out. And this is magnetic also, so everything is collapsible to be able to fold down. I do have the tutorial for this on the YouTube as well. And speaking of bows, I also have the Traveler's Bow. I think this is probably one of the first props that I did from the game, was this Traveler's Bow. And it does come apart at the handle here, so it's easy to transport. And these parts are also magnetic, so I can slide this out of its way so that it can be transported separately also. But yeah, Traveler's Bow. And we have all of the elemental arrows. Fire arrow, I haven't checked these in forever. Okay, the light's a little dim, but it will do, at least for a demo. Shock arrow, oh yeah, this is really dim. I need to change the batteries on these. The bomb arrow, it does light up, but I know for a fact this is dead because I remember trying to show it off last time to someone not having it. But for the bomb arrow, it's just this part here that lights up these fiber optics, and I have the tutorial on the channel also, so you can check it out if you want to see that. And then ice arrow, there we go. Nice. And the ancient arrow, which is also one of my favorite pieces. This one has a magnetic reed switch, so once I take off the magnet, it actually turns on. It also has this kind of like slow animation, very similar to the Sheikah slates, like the same little Arduino on the inside. And then when I put the magnet back on, it turns it off automatically. And we have the Traveler's Sword with the sheath. Comes out completely, slides in nice and smooth, and these velcros are for the leather straps that I have that go with the costume, so that stuff doesn't get seen. It's just kind of how everything attaches. And we have my favorite, the tree branch. Gotta have a tree branch at all times. And then the Traveler's Shield, which was also one of the very first things that I did with Link. And these tabs here are for magnets, and the magnets go on the back of the leather that crosses over this, and then so this just kind of glues like that, so everything is organized just like in real game. And obviously you gotta have some type of room. And I have my square bomb. I can change colors at the bottom here. Let's get it to the OG, kind of like teal-esque. Oh, right. That happens with the remote. I don't have the remote on hand, but you get the idea. And then there's this little guy. This is more Hyrule Warriors than it is Breath of the Wild, but Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is related to Breath of the Wild, so technically this is canon. And his eye does light up, obviously. And he has a posable tentacle, feet, arm, leg thingies, so I can just kind of like pose him however I want. He just kind of chills in the studio. And then we have the quiver. Not very exciting, but definitely accurate to the video game. And these leather straps stay attached to it because they're hooked here, and that's what keeps this up when I wear it, because it's very like side heavy. So this allows the belt to kind of hold the prop up as opposed to just sliding off like that. That way when I do put things inside of it, they don't slide out. They just kind of stay up, and I could put the rest of my arrows in here. This is also another little pouch that Link wears, and I have some rupees that I can spend at the convention. Very convenient. Then we have the Guardian Sword. Now this is, out of all of the stuff that I've showed you guys, this is the only thing that's not an original prop, so I didn't model this. The file was actually free, and it was from Adafruit. And they had like a whole tutorial on how to put it together. This is actually one of my first Arduino projects, which was really cool. Again, you can kind of tell how old it is because the resin is starting to yellow on this. But still works. Has a little on-off switch right there. And then there it goes. Just like does the thing and turns on. Really, really cool. I really love how this ended up turning out. Alright, and lastly, Urbosa's Scimitar of the Seven. Tutorial is on the channel for both of these, actually, the shield and the sword. And the DIY kit comes with 3D printed parts, so if you wanted to, you could even put some lights in the gems to have them glow, which is something I had planned on doing, and then I went to a con, and then this happened because it fell off of my back, and the person behind me stepped on it, and it basically got destroyed. And I had spent so much time on this paint job that I didn't feel like doing it over, and I don't know, it just kind of put me off to finishing this with all of the details that I wanted to do on the inside. But I might touch it up and get back to it eventually. Scimitar of the 7 has a little gem piece at the end here that does light up. It does have its individual light in here on the inside. Let's see if I can get this to pop out. There we go. I did put some LEDs on this, and it's crazy because I didn't even know that Urbosa's Scimitar did lightning like that until I played Age of Calamity. So I'm just moving into a new space, which is why I have all of my props available, which is why I was able to make this video in the first place. So a lot of things is just kind of all over the place, and I haven't found yet. As you can tell, a lot of the props were just dusty from having been up on my old wall. So there's definitely a lot of cleaning up to do and sprucing up so I can put them in on the new space. But that is pretty much it. That was all of my props, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, if there's anything in the video that you saw that you liked that I may not have a tutorial or patterns or DIY kits for, do let me know, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that the stuff that I put time and effort into is the stuff that you guys want to use or interested in buying or want to see, period, on the channel. So do let me know in the comments. All right, guys, this has been Cass from GiveWave Studios, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.